by the power of Grayskull. I have the power. This is my part 2 real life superhero review of the 2026 summer blockbuster Masters of the Universe 2026, which is already my #1 favorite film of the year. I've seen the film about 15 times and it gets better and better each time I watch it. This is the best film of the year so far. We've seen films like Supergirl and Mortal Kombat, which were disappointments. This film right here completely lived up to the hype despite its poor box office reception, box office results. And despite its box office results, I'm happy this film is a streaming phenomenon on Amazon and has so for a month or two. And I hope that continues when it's released. I hope that continues when it's released on DVD and Blu-ray. So they can, I've never seen it before, so they can get the sequel and continuation, because this film was awesome despite the poor box office. Before I continue with the review, I think this film failed at the box office because He-Man and the Masters of the Universe is just a dead franchise. Most of the people who grew up with He-Man have moved on from the He-Man franchise. But this right here was a great He-Man film for fans of Masters of the Universe, and this film captured the spirit and, in my opinion, did the source material justice while altering and changing things to make it more suitable for live action. Most of the cast did a phenomenal job. The story, set pieces, action, drama, special effects, story and screenwriting were phenomenal. I only have 2 complaints that's missing Masters of the Universe characters who they probably for budget reasons couldn't fit in, such as Stratos and Buzz-Off. Actually 3 complaints. Speaking of that, wasting Mossman, and that King Randor. I thought that King Randor was weak. I don't know if it was the actor or just the way the character was written, but he was weak, and every time he was on screen, he brought the film down. Yeah, before I continue with the review, as you can see, He-Man is a swordsman-based character. Thus, I have a sword, and I'm dressed similar to how the characters in the Masters of the Universe franchise dress. That's the intro you saw. The sports combat uniform without the jacket is what I'm wearing. Yeah, ignore that. That's my Instagram. Anyway, continuing the storyline. The storyline starts with a narration from adult Adam showcasing his childhood years under the tutorship of Man-at-Arms, portrayed by Idris Elba and Jared Leto, Skeletor, who portrays Skeletor. Jared Leto portrays Skeletor. Those are the 2 actors I recognize in this project. Anyway, continuing. He-Man is a timid, Prince Adam is a timid, weak, boy who's pushed around by one of the other female warriors, and he during a sparring session he befriends Tila, portrayed by Camila Mendez. They sword fight. They sword fight, and King Randor notices Adam just doing nothing but blocking and parrying with the sword. So he comes in and warns Adam that this world has no place for the weak, and has a brutal, intense sword sparring session with Adam. Suddenly Skeletor's forces invade Eternia, and Adam and Man-at-Arms faces Trapjaw faces Trapjaw and puts up a valiant fight, but fails to stop Trapjaw, causing Man-at-Arms to, when he's reintroduced later in the film, to become nothing but a drunk. Anyway, back in He-Man's story, He-Man, under the instructions from the Sorceress and Queen Marlena, escapes Eternia and heads, taking the sword with him, and heads to Earth. He loses the sword, and now a grown-up Adam, portrayed by Nicholas Gatlazzini, I think that's how you pronounce his name, is a grown man working in human resources, still searching for his sword. He eventually finds it in a museum. And takes it from the barbarian-looking warrior's hand, and shouts, "I have the power," but nothing happens. He's then arrested, and during the arrest, Tila comes all the way from Eternia, and saves Adam from Beastman, who's been sent to kill Adam and retrieve the sword. Adam goes back to Eternia and takes the fight to Skeletor's minion Trapjaw, where here he finally uncovers the power of He-Man. He finally becomes He-Man, and narrowly defeats Trapjaw. Skeletor then attacks again, wanting Adam's power sword. And this time he attacks the weaker masters of the universe. And starts killing them one by one until they reveal who is the warrior who saved them. And Skeletor, this is the scene where I said Mossman was wasted. Skeletor brutally murders Mossman, reducing him to basically a pile of ash and moss. And Adam and Skeletor via portal tells Adam, Tila, and Man-at-Arms that he has King Randor, and that if he wants King Randor alive, he better show up with the sword. Adam shows up with the sword, but Adam shows up with the sword, but Skeletor cheats and have a bunch of minions, have Trapjaw and all the minions attack Adam. Adam transforms into He-Man and whoops all of their butts all the way down to its all the way down to Skeletor reveals King Randor, and it's here where Adam drops his guard. And Adam drops his guard, and Skeletor gets the advantage. And He-Man transforms back into normal Adam, and he throws him in prison where Adam reconnects with Fisto, the female warrior who shoved him earlier. I keep forgetting her name. She's in one of the Masters of the Universe comic books. And Fisto, Ram Man, Mechaneck, he befriends all of them. And together, He-Man, Tila, Man-at-Arms, He-Man, Man-at-Arms, Tila, He-Man, Man-at-Arms, Tila, Roboto, Fisto, Ram Man, and that strong female warrior. Together they break out with Queeze. Prince of the Universe song from Highlander plays with them taking the fight to Skeletor's minions, and Adam confronts Skeletor, and Skeletor is strong enough to beat Adam's human form, and beats him around and stabs him with the sword. Stabs him with the sword. The sorceress appears and tells Adam that even though the sword is shattered, the power and existence is inside him, and Adam becomes He-Man. And proposes a talk with Skeletor. But Skeletor doesn't have it. So after a brief sword fight with He-Man blocking all of Skeletor's attacks, Skeletor tells Adam he doesn't know how to use the power. And Adam says he knows how to use it. He just prefers not to. Completely living up and capturing the spirit of He-Man, the pacific nature. The pacific nature. Before this, he tried to give Skeletor a chance, a way out of this, to give up all of his evil and his conquest of everything. But Skeletor assured Adam there is no good in him. So Adam became Shang-Chi and Iron Fist, and started giving him first gave him an elbow swap, then a haymaker, then a couple of body shots, then another haymaker, then another haymaker, then Skeletor, then he took Skeletor, tossed him around, threw him into the what you call it. Skeletor tried blasting him with his scepter, but no effect. Then Skeletor tried to reason with Adam and say, "You want to talk? Talk." And Adam says, "The time for talk is over," and started summoning more punches, started summoning more power, and started rocking and punching and giving Skeletor haymaker after haymaker and body shot after body shot after body shot, and then put his hand on Skeletor's staff and disintegrated Skeletor's body, presumably killing him. But it's later revealed in the post-credit scene that Skeletor somehow survived, but there's nothing left of him other than just a skull head found by Evil Lyn later in a post-credit scene. And He-Man, and at the end, He-Man, Teela, and Man-at-Arms are in their familiar costumes from the cartoon, and He-Man hears about something happening in another time. He-Man hears about something happening in another village, and him and Cringer go to the village, and the film ends there. Like I said, awesome movie. The action sequences were my favorite parts of the movie, especially the end fight between He-Man and Skeletor. I've never seen He-Man get that brutal. He-Man became Iron Fist, Shang-Chi, and Mortal Kombat at the end of the film, man. It was awesome. So, this has been, so yeah, other things I didn't like about the film was, Roboto. Roboto was made into a female, was gender swapped into a female. It didn't bother me that much, but I wish they stopped doing that, especially since you already added another female warrior in the film, and you already have one in Teela. Was it necessary to gender swap Roboto? And at the end, there was another post credit with Queen Marlena and the sorceress talking about another one who was separated at birth, and She-Ra appears. Princess Adora, She-Ra appears. So I want to see a sequel with She-Ra and Hordak, and then if that's popular, they can bring in Zodak and the Snake Man. Oh man. So much lore, so much to to adapt. That's why I really do hope this film gets a continuation in movie or television form, however they want to do it, whichever is possible. I left a comment on the video, whichever is possible. I just want a continuation, because this film was awesome. Thumbs way up. The story, action, soundtrack, set pieces, costume design, fight scenes, everything. This film completely lived up to expectations. So this was my review of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. You don't want to hear the rest of the music? Turn the video off right now.